Hello and welcome to a new Allegro Network Multimeter webcast. Today I'm presenting the product launch of the X310, X410 and X510. My name is Klaus Degner and I'm leading the product management and being the managing director of Allegro Packets. So, what are the key facts of the new series? First of all, it is a successor of our current rack mount chassis. So it's a successor for the X300, X400 and X500. The next thing which is new is we have a new high-end series, the 7000. So the 7310, 7410 and 7510. This new version basically doubled the performance. And because we have a hardware refresh internally, we get 50% more in memory database as an option. And we also doubled the per SSD performance. So we have now write and read rates of 40 gigabit per second per SSD. Again, it's running on the same firmware. We of course optimized it for the new series, and well, it's an upgrade for us. So let's get into the detail of the new series. The X310 now has at least 192 gigabyte memory as default. It has two SFP Plus ports as monitoring ports already installed, so the base version already is enough for 10 gig monitoring. You get 10 2.5 slots for either SATA or U2 NVMe SSDs, and they can of course be mixed, but it's all free, all installed, so you can put their very big ring buffer in it in these 10 slots. You have two network expansion slots plus a new OCP slot which comes from the old Open Computing project, which allows you to use a network extension in the bottom right with a new form factor. The big advantage is that this slot is customer service able on-site without opening the chassis. So if you, for example, need a quad-port SFP Plus extension card in the future, you can just install it by yourself with our special network cards there. The maximum capture to disk rate for the new series is up to 240 gigabit traffic. And the limitation here is raised a lot compared to the old series, but also the capture only performance has been raised a lot compared to the old series. Also the full analytics performance is now a lot higher, and I show you that later in the webcast. Again, this series is also extendable by JBots, so if you need a lot of HDDs, it can be just connected to it directly, and then you get a bigger ring buffer. The X410 is very similar. It's a 2U server barebone chassis, and the big advantage of this new chassis is that we get up to 6 regular extension slots plus the OCP slot. So this allows us to use 7 extension cards, with each card with 4 SFP Plus ports, plus the 2 built-in makes it to 30 SFP Plus ports. So this chassis allows an extreme high amount of configurable ports. It also allows to have up to 12 U2 NVMe SSDs. And as we also have now a 25.6 terabyte SSD, it allows a very, very big storage here. The performance numbers are roughly the same to the X310 series. It's just a 2U chassis. Again, this is also extendable with JBots, and the disk rate is the same, and we also have here the same OCP slot. The X510 update has a small difference. We have here the maximum capture rate is only 200 gigabit. It's just limited because we only have up to 4 SSDs and then a number of HDDs. The limitation here comes just that the HDDs are not as fast as SSDs for writing. It's again extendable by JBots, and just because it's not available yet, we can only install up to 3 terabyte of in-memory database with this current generation. There will be new memory modules coming soon, so we hope we can do here also 6 terabyte of in-memory database soon. Let me show you now the Allegro 7410 running live here in our lab. I have that system running here with 200 gig cards, each card with 2 ports. So I'm using a traffic generator which generates very stressy traffic with in total 120 gigabit on these 2 ports. And we can now look into the details of this traffic here on that web interface. So you get all the well-known IP statistics, all the statistics, so you can see response times and everything on 120 gigabit traffic in real time. This is a really, really stressy case, and just showing you the new connection rate here is above 400,000 connections per second. And we can show you for that a graph really with second resolution per connection. So it's a really, really big storage we are having here. So this is now processed and stored on our packet ring buffer. I can show you here. So we are capturing right now 14-15 gigabyte per second for that kind of traffic. What I can do now is I can switch the device from full analytics, which is now unlimited, to only capturing. Once I do that, let me restart the processing to activate this feature. Once I do this, I have now the system running, but without all the layer 2 to layer 7 statistics. But I can now in the dashboard, for example, start the traffic generation twice. So I generate 60 gigabit traffic on 4 ports, which comes in total to 240 gigabit of traffic. It is a packet rate right now of 8 million packets per second on each port. So we're having here 32 million packets per second, which we are recording. And what we can show you now is that the new packet ring buffer can store that kind of traffic easily. So we are riding with almost 30 gigabyte per second traffic. And the data in flight, so which is buffered between our application and the SSD, is really low. So we have a few megabyte in flight data. So the system can easily write that amount of data. So we can, if the packet rate is low enough, we can even store more than 240 gigabit of traffic. But well, this now scales up to 60 million packets per second. We can process with the new series with this high packet load. I hope you enjoyed the webcast, and I hope we will see you soon in another one. Thanks.